So in this video, we're going to talk about Michelle Obama refusing to go to Trump's inauguration, and it has people losing their mind. And I'm actually happy. She's not going. And then we're going to talk about Elon Musk once again. The richest person here on planet Earth is the most insecure dummy who has ever had money. And what we're going to talk about just solidifies that fact. Let's have that conversation. So when it comes to Michelle Obama not attending Trump's inauguration here in a few days, depending on when you're watching this, I'm actually happy. I'm actually proud that there's some people still left in the Democratic Party, despite if you agree with every single policy that they propose or back or whatever the case is, there's still some of them that's like, you know what? I'm tired of going high when they go low. And I want to take some credit, okay? Because I have said this in probably like a video maybe 2 months ago, where I, talked about Michelle Obama, and instead of, the whole when they go low, we go high. When they go low, I don't go. I said that, so I want to believe that she's seen my video and say, you know what? I'm tired of going high. I'm just not going to go. And that is what she is doing. And it seems to be some confusion when it comes to Fox News and the Republican Party. But let's just read just real quick of what the inauguration is supposed to symbolize, in a sense. But it says, former presidents attend presidential inaugurations as a demonstration of the peaceful transfer of power, a cornerstone of democracy. Their presence symbolizes unity, respect for the democratic process. It's a nonpartisan tradition, that's keyword tradition, that highlights the importance of upholding the nation's constitutional framework regardless of political differences. Beautiful. It makes sense. But some people seem to be confused. Let's go to CNN and get some more.
Michelle Obama's office confirming to CNN tonight that she will skip Donald Trump's inauguration next Monday, without explaining why she's going to be absent at an event that is traditionally attended by both former presidents and their spouses. Notable exception from last year. This means the former First Lady will not come face to face with the president-elect. This also comes after she missed Jimmy Carter's state funeral here in Washington last week, where, as you can tell by the seating chart that you're looking at here, had she gone, she would have been sitting next to Trump himself. Former President Obama will attend the inauguration, we are told, and our sources are saying tonight that also so will three of the richest men in the world. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos.
Hey, check this out. This is a hoe, and this is a coward ass hoe right here. These are three hoes, three of the wealthiest hoes on planet Earth, and they are sucking everything. Okay, I don't want to get into the details, but you get it. Okay, these three right here. Hate to see their face. I didn't even know they was gonna bring them up right now. And I just see, I don't want to say some more things. It's just probably going to get me in trouble by YouTube, but let's continue.
And Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg will all have prime seating for that ceremony, sitting near Trump's cabinet picks and administration officials. I want to bring in my...
So, once again, she is not going. Okay, and I haven't heard, or at least I tried to look a little bit, I haven't heard any statement from her or why she's not going, whatever the case is, but she wasn't a former president. Her husband, I'm sure, is attending, at least from what I know so far, and that's really the person that needs to be there for this tradition, to demonstrate the peaceful transfer of power and the support. If Obama's there being, presidential, what I'm saying? He still needs to uphold that Obama that we all know and love, but it seems like Fox News might be a little confused.
Former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, joins me now, and he's out with a new documentary on PBS called A Journey to America. All right, you understand the decorum, the traditions, and the peaceful transfer of power, Speaker. Why do you think Michelle Obama is not attending the inauguration on Martin Luther King Day?
Well, she hates Donald Trump. Same reason she didn't go to the Carter funeral, because she would have been sitting next to Donald Trump. I think there's an interesting contrast. Her husband was very cheerful, very pleasant, I think in a way helped bring the country together by chatting with Trump. She represents the wing of the party that wants to drive the country apart and sort of represents the civil war that I just wrote about at Gingrich 360, which I think is beginning to show up in the Democratic Party.
Okay, one, I think it's a little reflecting that he's doing because he doesn't want to talk about the literal war going on between the Republican Party, like the rich versus the racist, like, you know, R versus the R, like, but it's weird because she symbolizes division in the Democratic Party and separating Americans, but not the individual himself, Trump, who literally quoted Hitler. These vermin are poisoning the blood of the nation. Who says that? Who's the vermin? Oh, the radical left, the enemies within. So you're telling me, okay, hey, you're telling me that that rhetoric isn't dividing Americans. But no, the former president's wife not attending this ceremony is the whole thing is coming down. Hey, please continue.
There are people who want to accept that after 9 years, Donald Trump is going to be president. And then there are people who just repudiate it. Look at Gavin Newsom, who in the middle of the worst fire in modern times, needing desperately to have help from the new Trump administration, decides to put up $50 million to stop Trump in California. I mean, this is suicidally crazy. And Michelle represents that wing of the party that rejects reality and that wants to pretend if I don't show up, it mustn't have occurred. Well, I hate to tell you, Michelle, actually, almost none of us care.
Okay, so you're telling me no one cares, but Fox News primetime night is inviting you to talk about her not attending. One, that's kind of weird. You can't say no one cares, but then yet we're literally talking about this. You're talking about this on Fox News primetime. Okay, what time is it there? 5:42? This is primetime. So once again, you're kind of missing the mark. Okay, but hey, guess what? We have a little footage, a little proof. And this is this thing called hypocrisy. Especially when you just get done from saying something and then somebody shows some evident proof of your party literally doing that same thing. It's a little weird. Let's take a listen. Oh, my God.
We're just getting this. President Trump just tweeted, "To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January the 20th. Nothing more to be said. He's not going to be there."
I was going to wait a little bit.
Once again, I'm a little confused. That's for another video. I'm a little confused because those two idiots on Fox News, they were like, you know what? This is outrageous. Like, Michelle Obama doesn't want to accept reality that Trump won and Trump is going to be the president, and you pretending that, you know, this is not reality. You're just going to close your ears, close your eyes, and just pretend like this is not real. Grow up, Michelle Obama. Like, really? Because 4 years ago to the day, Trump said he's not going to attend because he lost. What's going on here? It is like impossible for these people to stay consistent. But I mean, I kind of see why, because they get paid millions of dollars to not be consistent. And that right there is the battle that everybody needs to fight. You can't fight inconsistency in people because they don't care about the hypocrisy. They don't care about, like, literally Trump cannot show up at his own inauguration and people will still talk about Michelle Obama not showing up. Like, it's just weird, you know? And like I say, the new slogan needs to be, when they go low, we just don't go. And when it comes to a whole new level of lowness, yes, when it comes to the bottom of the barrel, when it comes to the dignity of people, okay, Elon Musk. This goes to prove, like, you know, your mama done told you, you know what I'm saying? Like, money isn't everything. Money is not going to solve everything. Money can't solve what dignity and integrity and consistency and discipline can ever do. Money can't do that. Money can do a lot of things. Trust me. I need money, but I don't need money. You feel me? When it comes to everything else that's supposed to build that happiness, you know, friends, family, loved ones, religion, usually some of those things kind of helps build who you are. And if you got, you know, $10 versus $10 million, you're still going to be that person. You're still going to be a successful, just courage person that you're supposed to be. And money can't buy that. And you know how I know this? Oh, Elon Musk. Because you would think the wealthiest person walking the face of this earth, hear me out, the richest person on this earth is the most insecure individual ever that have ever seen in real life other than movies. Check this out. He bought Tesla. Once again, he bought it. He didn't create Tesla. He didn't create the first energy car, you know, electronic car. He didn't build that. He bought it with his parents' money. But that's a whole nother story. When it comes to his spaceships, his pretty rockets, he didn't build that. He got that from NASA. If you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he breaks this down. He bought stuff that was like, I guess you could say, like in the warehouse of NASA. He bought it, spent billions of dollars to get other people to fix it up, and he takes all the credit for it. Kind of sounds like it's a trend, right? Once again, nobody would elect him for anything. He is not a likable person. He is a literal dumbass. But what did he have to do? He had to buy the election in order to get a government position, a made up one at that. He couldn't run because, one, he's not a U.S. citizen, and then two, just nobody likes him. He's not that kind of guy, and that's why he has to buy his own friends. I guarantee you, if he didn't have the money and those hair plugs, he would have no friends. That's simple. And just like the story that we're going to get into, why this is so important is because if you see how low people need to go in order to prove something, why would we ever trust that individual to govern or make these big government decisions over millions of people? Over 332 million people, we are now trusting Elon to make these government cuts. Really, guys? Hey, let's take a listen. Let me go to where I need to just real quick. 2135. So this right here is Charlie. I don't know if you guys know Charlie. I've been watching Charlie for, you know, like here and there for the past like 2 years. Very funny guy, really down to earth. And when it comes to situations like this, he just tells it like it is. Like, this is the normal person here. Not super politically savvy and doesn't try to be. But when it's some bullshit, it's some bullshit. Let's hear what he has to say.
Learn how exactly this account perished, because I feel like he'd probably mention it, like what happened? What went so wrong? But yeah, I wanted to talk about this a bit. It's such a weird, stupid thing to even lie about in the first place, and yet here he is telling blatantly obvious fibs. He's got all the money in the world and all of the insecurity imaginable. He has this desperate, insatiable appetite for unconditional love from everyone, and in this pursuit makes everyone hate him through being just a lying cringe lord. Like, this is such an unnecessary lie to even tell. He just wants to be viewed as the smartest person to ever grace this fucking space rock that we live on, and the best at everything he even attempts to do, even when he's just not. He could have actually probably scored a ton of brownie points with gamers by saying, hey, Path of Exile 2 is a really good game. I'm learning it right now. Watch me stream the early game content. And people probably would have actually really applauded that, because he's playing it on his own two legs here. He's playing and learning it, and that could have been a really easy way to relate to gamers. Like, hey, this game's great. I'm going to start learning to grind it. I'm not very good right now, but if you want to check out my early game, here's the stream. And I bet it would have been received far better than this dog shit.
And once again, if you don't know what's going on, we're gonna get into it. But like, when it comes to just simple gaming, and I'm a big gamer, you know what I'm saying? I'm a 80s baby. We grew up with, Nintendo, Sega, Sega Saturn, not Sega Genesis, but Nintendo, the whole thing. That's what we grew up on. So when it comes to individuals putting in the time, the sweat, the blood, and the tears into a game and come to realize that they didn't, you're losing so much respect. You're losing so much respect that it's not even fun. But let's go ahead and get into the story of this.
He was playing the game today inside
Let's see.
On the hardcore game mode, which means that if his PoE hardcore players and streamers like Quinn and Kriparian earlier this week. Which also, I'll say as a quick note, when this first happened and people started talking, we didn't cover this. Right? It was weird, but Elon's weird. And we're kind of just waiting to see if Elon himself would respond, which he actually did today. So that's why we're talking about it. But apparently, the first big giveaway was his level. For example, Quinn pointing out that getting to 97, it is a major feat and it takes for fucking ever.
2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally, they're staying up 40 to 50 hours without sleeping, only playing Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world. The highest ranked player on the Hardcore Trade League was level 93.
We then see him point out that despite only being 4 levels away, it's a big grind to get to 97 since the time required is exponentially more, summarizing that Elon has pretty much only been playing PoE, which must be especially true because this Percy character was seemingly made in early January after his original character Kekimus Maximus died. So it isn't a month of progress, but a couple of weeks at best doing almost nothing but playing Path of Exile. But then another red flag for Quinn being that Musk had items used for doing endgame content stored as Elon's maps, all of which were relatively easy to complete. And the reason that stands out is that if you're organizing your items, you're not going to write Phil's maps, Phil's currency, but just, maps, which to them seem to imply that someone else had set these aside for Elon, not to mention that
Elon Musk didn't play Path of Exile 1. In Path of Exile 2, maps are actually called waystones. And he never actually refers to them as maps. He calls them...
Play another round here. This is a hard level. Waystone.
So it's just kind of weird that he's, again, called his tab Elon's map. So almost like someone who's a Path of Exile 1 veteran, is kind of making that tab and be like, Elon, there's a tab there called Elon's Maps. Grab your map out there. I've rolled them all for you. They're nice and easy.
You also had Quinn saying that Elon clearly doesn't know how to navigate the endgame's core system by clicking on something that is inaccessible over and over, because he'd need to have interacted with this literally thousands of times to get to 97. Or also pointing out that when he's fighting a boss, he runs out of resources despite having ways to refill it instantly. And then, while playing, he doesn't have what's called a loot filter, which hides or highlights gear depending on how important it is. We're saying that he's just using the game's default, which no one uses that far into the game. We're saying that the filter is universally used, and I mean universally because the amount of stuff that drops in the game, it can be overwhelming. But it makes it easier to see the good stuff that drops to pick up, which Musk could have used because he just walks by one of the game's most useful and valuable currencies while playing since it's not highlighted in a special way.
But what becomes obviously apparent...
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs! He just ran past the Chaos Orb!
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs. Just so you guys understand.
But then finally, regarding what people have pointed out, I'll end with how he describes items. Because in short, it's claimed that he doesn't know the fundamentals of how gear works. So the non-technical version is that Musk claims that his gear isn't very good, despite likely being among the best in hardcore right now.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
These affixes are, I'd hate to say perfect, but they might be perfect.
Or see, of Musk claiming that his gear is so many levels below his level 97 character, except in PoE, that has nothing to do with its power. It's just the minimum requirement to use it. Like, there are items that require level 1, and they're among the strongest in the game. And this also isn't stuff that you can just find on the ground. A player would need to understand how to craft items and trade super efficiently to reportedly even attempt gear this good. And honestly, we could go on and on for the non-gamers out there. This is the smallest version of this story. But if you want more, and I mean even more granular details, definitely check out Quinn's video. I'm going to link to it in the description.
And that is sad to me. You know what I'm saying? Once again, when it comes to gaming, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the smartest. People just want to genuinely watch people play a video game that they all enjoy themselves. But when it comes to someone like Elon Musk, he needs to prove something to other people, but doesn't want to put in the work to achieve that status. Hence the story of his life. Why are people calling him a genius if he hasn't built anything himself? Hasn't put the blood, sweat, tears, the swear words, the lonely, cold nights, and just the vigorous headaches of trying to figure things out. No. He just buys it. He buys other people's sweat and tears and then claims it as his own. To me, why on any earth? Okay, if there's other universes out there, other phases of life, why would someone ever put their trust into an individual like that? I don't know. I'm confused. But that's our reality. That's the person who's going to be watching over our government for whatever reason. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Discord button so me and you can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.